All right, guys, let's just be honest here. This is going to be one of the smartest purchases to make here in 2017. Um, I know this phone is going to still be supported. I think they're going to stop sales, but it's going to be supported. But this OnePlus 3T is actually really great. And it still holds the title for fastest fingerprint reader in the West. I mean, this thing is fast. Let me give you an example now. The HTC U11 has a really fast fingerprint reader. I think it's fast, right? Check this out. It's just, this has animations too, so that's what slows it down. But I have got to tell you, this has got to be one of the fastest fingerprint readers ever. It was like that on the OnePlus 3 that I reviewed before, and it's like that now on the OnePlus 3T. The OnePlus 3T has a 5.5 inch 1080p AMOLED display. Now that's another thing to look at here. Look at the displays on here. This is an AMOLED. This is Super LCD 5. You know, these are both 5.5 inch. And by the way, for those that were asking, the U11 is pretty much the same size as the OnePlus 3T, as you can see here. But look at how great these screens look. They just look fantastic. They look great. Now, yeah, this is a Quad HD display, so, you know, I might get a little bit more detail on there. But this AMOLED display is freaking gorgeous. I mean, there's just no getting around it. This phone is lightweight, thin. I mean, I kind of missed it. I always, sometimes when I sell phones, you know, I was like, man, I shouldn't have got rid of my OnePlus 3. And that's the first thing I said once I grabbed this one up again. The OnePlus 3T definitely is a fantastic purchase here in 2017. Now, I know you probably won't be able to get it new after a while, and they're coming out with the OnePlus 5. But those that actually have the OnePlus 3T, you know, I haven't seen the OnePlus 5 yet, but I would definitely tell you to sit tight. I don't recommend people upgrade if they don't need to. Now, me as a reviewer, you know, I'm buying all these, I'm collecting them, I'm just kind of keeping them. You know, I've been here lately, I haven't been selling all of my flagships. Like, I have probably all the latest flagships except for the iPhone 7 Plus. I only have the iPhone 7. You know, I have the Axon 7, the LG G6, the U Ultra, the U11, the 3T, the S8 Plus that I'm recording with. I got the new ZTE phone. I can't even remember. It's a lot of them. But the fact is, I've been keeping some of these phones because it's kind of one of those things where sometimes the upgrade is one that you shouldn't make. Now, I don't know about the any other OEM, but at least we know that OnePlus will upgrade their phones internally. Now, they kind of shafted OnePlus 3 owners, so I sold both of my OnePlus 3s. They kind of shafted them by bringing this phone out like a couple months later, a few months later. But if you have the OnePlus 3 or the OnePlus 3T, you know, if you don't need to upgrade and you're not a real serious cell phone enthusiast, I would say don't upgrade. Just keep your OnePlus 3T. Now, if you plan on selling your OnePlus 3T and taking a little bit of a loss and grabbing the OnePlus 5, then okay, that's your prerogative to do so. But this phone right here has fantastic battery. I mean, battery out of this world. Now, one thing I noticed about the cameras on the OnePlus 3T compared to the OnePlus 3, I don't know if they did something different, but the cameras on here, the rear camera had a lot of problems with focusing for some reason. I actually shot a video with it, and I had to scrap that video, I believe, because it just kept focusing. Now, I was trying to take a picture, and it just wouldn't focus right. It was unbelievable. And I was like, whoa, you know, that can't be. You know, this has two 16-megapixel cameras, so they better perform. So I haven't done an official camera video on this phone yet, but I think I'm going to, and I've actually put up my first impressions, and I gave you samples in that first impressions, I believe, but I'm going to do a separate video with the OnePlus 3T's cameras, because you can tell that this is a 16-megapixel camera on the front, but it is going to not be as, I'm going to do some of those blind tests so you can see for yourself. And I will start doing blind camera tests, by the way, so stay tuned for those. But the OnePlus 3T, it is a fast phone. I mean, there is no slowing down this phone. I have so much stuff open here. I don't normally leave all these things open on my phones. I tend to close out stuff. But, you know, I can do it on here. So if you go into the memory, let me find the memory here. You know what I mean? There we go. And then I go to memory. I still have 3.5 gigs free of the 6 gigs. That is just crazy. You know, that's just sick. It's unbelievable. I've only used almost 9 gigs of my 64 gigs. And that's just one of those things. It's taking a long time to calculate. It's just one of those things that it does well. The memory on here, I'm out of there. I'm not going to keep waiting. The memory on here is on point. So when you customize this thing, you can use any of the app icons that you I mean, there's not a lot of phones that give you this control right out of the box. I don't know very many. And I still like the alert slider. I think that's one of the best options, man. Oh gosh, that's just fantastic. That is just a great thing that I can switch between and, you know, set it the way I want to set it without having to deal with it, man. I really like it. That's just one of the best things. And you can change those too, by the way, but I wouldn't suggest you do it. You can put it how you want, but you can change all your status bar depending on how you want it. I like that I can put the seconds up there without turning on that tuner feature. That's just little small things like that, man, mean a lot. So 72 hours with the OnePlus 3T. I was gonna say the OnePlus 5. It's been 72 hours of greatness. I mean, I am super excited. I'm on 7.1.1, and it's just been good. It's one of those phones that, you know, all you can do is talk about it, I guess. You know, and I do have it on the dark theme here because this is an AMOLED display, and then I think it shows off the colors better. Like when you're changing this like this, you can customize this bad boy right out of the box. And someone asked me in a different video, hey, you know, is that the stock launcher? I'm like, yeah, this is stock launcher. And see how I just flipped that like that to that cyan looking color? Fantastic. So the OnePlus 3T, you know, not a long video. Don't need to talk too long about it. Battery life is good. The screen is beautiful. The cameras, I'm still kind of going to check those out. I'm not going to tell you they're fantastic at this point, even though I've seen other people say they're great. In my testing, you know, initially they were doing great, but now I'm having some issues focusing. So I'll do a separate video for that. However, battery life, build quality, screen, I mean, what else can you ask for? Performance, more importantly. This has a, 3400, I believe is in this one, or 33, something like that. The battery is on point. And if they can fit that in here, why can't I get it in other phones? I'm not going to call anybody out, but it doesn't matter the thickness of your phone at this point. You got to pack it in there. So performance, guys, if you're looking for a performance powerhouse, you're looking at it. Because the OnePlus 3T, gosh, I want to give a special shout out to Albert, man. He's in all the Telegram groups and he's always on YouTube. He's overseas, but he's an avid OnePlus supporter. And you know, I already reviewed the OnePlus 2 and the OnePlus 3, and now the OnePlus 3T. And I can see why he pushes this phone the way he does, because it's a smart choice. It's dual SIM, it's unlocked, and it's just got fantastic build quality. Now, I don't know how I'm going to feel about the new design, which is another reason why I wanted this one right here. So we shall see with time. But what do you guys think about the OnePlus 3T? Is it a worthy contender for today? I mean, it only has a Snapdragon 821, remember. It doesn't have an 835. That doesn't matter. I've got plenty of phones out there that have Snapdragon 821s and 820s, and they still perform fantastic. You know, in the 800 series, I mean, I'm not talking about like other series, just the 800 series. Some would argue and say, oh, it's time to go. We're getting rid of it because it has a Snapdragon 821. Because a lot of people said that about current devices. Oh, they shouldn't release it with an 821 and these have the 835. What will you say about the OnePlus 3T? So the OnePlus 5 is probably definitely going to come with a Snapdragon 835. We shall see about that. But gosh, this fingerprint reader, ridiculous, man. Just ridiculously fast. It's just crazy. So I wanted to give you my 72 hours with the OnePlus 3T. I'm really digging this phone, man. I mean, it's so thin, so light. And I have cases for it already too, but I've been rocking it naked and bare around the house. You know how I do. It's your man, Jay Will. I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for more. I will give you a full review of this one later on. Deuces.